It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning and welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this Tuesday, May the 30th, 2023, coming to you from Central Virginia area, Bedford County, right outside of Lynchburg. We do have a breaking news item first thing this morning, and it comes from our friends down in Norfolk. Man overboard from the Carnival Magic. The Carnival Cruise Line has reported that a man fell overboard as the Magic cruise ship was returning to port in Norfolk. According to a statement from the cruise line, Carnival Magic reported a man overboard to the U.S. Coast Guard and that he was reported missing by his companion late yesterday. The statement continued by saying a review of the ship's security footage confirms that he leaned over the railing of his stateroom balcony and dropped into the water approximately 4 a.m. That would be actually this morning, I guess. A spokesman for the U.S. Coast Guard said that the incident occurred off the coast of Florida. Carnival Cruise Line says the Coast Guard released the ship from the search and rescue efforts and instructed that the captain to make his way back to Norfolk, and the information was released when they got into Norfolk today. So this probably did happen yesterday. I stated that one wrong. So it happened yesterday morning, was reported by his friend yesterday afternoon. So that's the breaking news this morning. We also have a couple other stories. The Carnival cruise ship is back sailing. You know which one we're talking about. And I do have some more information on that one. The Sky Princess has some itinerary changes. The Carnival Venezia has sailed. And Costa Serena is in Asia. That and a whole lot more here live at 11 o'clock this morning. Today, folks, is International Hug Your Cat Day. I plan to do that with both mine. I haven't seen them yet today. They haven't. I've come in I saw them when I fed them at 4:30 this morning, but I haven't seen them since. But I'll get a hold of both of them before the day's over with and get a little snuggle time. It won't be long, because they don't like that. And then, of course, they have to take a total, complete bath to get the human cooties off of their bodies. International Hug Your Cat Day. If you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcast from. All the big guys tune in: Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, Pandora, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, anyhow. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. If you're listening via the podcast, there's always a link in the description of the podcast if you ever want to hop over to the video feed for any pictures or clips or interviews that I may have on that morning's show. Like this. So all of you guys know Elizabeth on location down in Cozumel. So this was early in the evening last night, looking from her apartment, and you can see, it's pretty dark skies. And then the storm rolls in. She got that picture and that one. And then a friend of hers over in Playa happened to catch this. So that was the storming last evening down at Cozumel. I look forward to going to Cozumel so I can have a little lunch with Elizabeth when I can work that one out. So, all right, the top story this morning, folks, is a follow-up from yesterday. And I'll be perfectly honest, guys, this came as a news release from Carnival. So keep that in mind as I'm delivering this news release. Carnival Sunshine has departed on her next sailing after a very stormy cruise and significant delays returning to Charleston because of strong winds and dangerous waves. The ship did suffer some damage, but the next sailing has not been impacted and guests have been compensated for their very late embarkation. Due to the non-tropical storm off the southeastern U.S. that prevented the ship from entering the harbor at the port of Charleston, Carnival Sunshine was delayed for 9 hours with debarking guests at the end of the cruise and embarking guests for the next sailing. Embarking guests were kept apprised of the situation through text and email updates and were finally able to begin boarding the ship at approximately 6:30 p.m. with the last guests on board about 10:30 to 11 p.m. and the ship set sail near midnight. That's a little different from the information I had, but that's okay. Nothing major on that. Poor weather and rough seas on the return trip were caused by a non-tropical storm system, which recorded wind gusts near Charleston Harbor from 34 to 42 miles an hour at the time the cruise ship was waiting to enter. Guests on board the ship prior to arriving back in Charleston reported a variety of damage to the vessel, from leaking ceilings to flooded hallways and staterooms with puddles in the carpeting. In public areas of the ship, dishes, bottles, glassware had all fallen and broken, and displays and racks in the fun shops were overturned and spilled merchandise, with the ship rocking significantly due to the heavy swells. Sea-sailing bags were distributed. The worst of the damage appears to have been in the crew areas on lower decks, where more significant flooding was noted, and walls and doorways were heavily damaged, even destroyed, especially in some of the crew recreational areas. It should be noted, Carnival says, at no time were the ship's safety systems compromised, and while the conclusion of the sailing was most definitely uncomfortable, guests and crew members were safe at all times. Because the cruise was so heavily delayed for the next sailing, with guests not embarking and well into the evening and nighttime hours, every stateroom was given $100 of onboard credit and prorated credit for any Wi-Fi or drink package purchases. Yesterday, I was very critical of Captain Rosario Arena for not getting the ship out of harm's way. Every bit of information that I could glean at that point indicated to me, a longtime cruiser, I've been in storms twice, that both times the captain got the ship out of harm's way, got away from the storm, waited till it was over, then went back in. I can now report from multiple sources. This isn't just one source, folks. I don't report single source items. This was from multiple sources that Captain Arena did not want to sail into the storm. It was his feelings to get the ship the hell out of the storm. He was ordered directly by corporate office to do what he did. Again, that is from multiple sources. Still, no matter what, any way you look at it, it's a black eye for Carnival, especially after their spin on the incident, which obviously is not completely truthful. All right, you got one more day left on the Memorial Day 10% off sale for wheel power chairs and scooter round. It's valid until midnight tomorrow night. This limited time offer is going to run out, so don't miss out. The open box Miracle Mobility Platinum 8000 folding power chair, very similar to the chair that I have, gives you the same features and benefits as a new model at a fraction of the cost, plus you get free shipping and a full manufacturer's warranty. Folds in 3 seconds, weighs 58 pounds. Remote control capability, large storing compartments, has a weight capacity of 396 pounds. It'll go 3.75 miles per hour and has a 15-mile drive. It normally lists at $1,899. Your price right now till tomorrow is $1,099. Buy it now by calling 844-664-7467. This cannot be combined with any other offers or coupons or discounts or promotions. And of course, it's subject to product availability. When you call them, use the SRN 11137. And the old fat guy will get a little credit for that. That's Scooter Round and the Platinum 8000 power chair. All right, the next story today has to deal with our friends over on the Sky Princess. You know, we have had quite a bit of stories from the Sky Princess recently. Guests on board the Sky Princess have been notified of several changes to the current itinerary. The ship is sailing a 7-night round-trip Scandinavian cruise from Southampton, which departed on Saturday, with scheduled visits to Kristiansand, Copenhagen, Skagen, and Oslo. I wish to advise you of a change in our schedule itinerary. The letter from ship's master, Captain Marco Fortesi, said, "We are currently performing scheduled maintenance of one of our diesel generators, which has taken longer than expected." The letter explains that the safety of the ship, guests, and crew is in no way impacted by the maintenance, but the ship must sail at reduced speeds. This has impacted the planned itinerary and timing of several of the ports. The ship's visit to Kristiansand, the first port of call on the sailing, went ahead as planned. All the remaining ports have needed adjustments. The call to Skagen, Denmark, has been canceled and replaced with Zeebrugge in Belgium on a different day of the sailing. To accommodate that change, the visit to Oslo has also been shifted to a different day and the time of port reduced by 1 hour. The time spent in Copenhagen has also been reduced by 4 hours, departing the city at 6 p.m. rather than 10 p.m. as planned. And that, of course, happens today. These changes follow a radical alteration of Sky Princess' previous itinerary, when multiple ports of call in Iceland and Norway were missed due to mechanical emergencies and poor weather. While coincidental that the 2 consecutive cruises are so dramatically altered, the reasons for the changes are totally not related. All right, and some good news from Carnival. They can stand some right now. The much anticipated Carnival Venezia has set sail on her inaugural itinerary from Barcelona to New York, the very first sailing of the new reimagined ship that brings a unique Venetian vibe to Carnival Cruise Line. The 15-night cruise will visit multiple ports of call en route to New York and will remain home ported from the Big Apple through early December of 2024. And of course, that's President Christine Dovey with John Heald. Also on the ship is Emerald Lagasse. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. I kicked everybody off again. Pretty sure I got everybody back. Yes, I'm showing that I'm on the air. Wow. It's amazing how often I do that. All right, the last story this morning, that was finishing up with Carnival. The last story this morning has to deal with the Costa Serena. Costa Serena is making a return excuse me, to the fleet and has resumed service in Asia, welcoming guests earlier than initially planned. The 2007 built vessel kicked off a series of charter operations for a local travel agency in Southeast Asia and the Far East. The first voyage included a program of short cruises departing from Laem Shabang in Thailand, visiting Vietnam, Cambodia, and other destinations in Thailand. The operation will be followed by a series of charter cruises in South Korea. So welcome back to Costa Serena. That's another ship that has been mentioned as a possible transfer to the Carnival mainline. So, just saying. All right, that actually wraps up the news portion of today's show. It wasn't a great deal of news other than the revelation about Carnival. That one is that's a bummer. All right, let's see who's fussing at me in the chat room. Hot Air's with us. Steve's here. Good morning, y'all. There's Elizabeth Buenadias from Sunny Cozumel. Yo, 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 Brooklyn in the house. Eddie's with us. Hi, Eddie. Mike's with us. Sonny's with us. Joanne's with us. Good morning to all you guys. Of course, everybody's speaking back and forth. There's Cindy. Hi, Cindy. Just got upgraded to Yacht Club from an upcoming MSC cruise. Bid on Yacht Club interior minimum bid and got Yacht Club Deluxe Suite. Wow, that's pretty cool. When we need pictures, number one, and we probably need to do a live stream. And man, if you've got a signal, I'd love to see what a Yacht Club balcony suite looks like. That's pretty awesome, Cindy. Emily's with us. Hi, Emily. Elizabeth says, oh, that was not from my apartment. It was from, it was from No Name Bar. Well, that's one of my favorite bars in Cozumel. Sonny wants to know what the minimum bid was on that. I've never had any success with that. Of course, now that I'm in accessible cabins, I can't take a chance on winning a bid and not having an accessible room. So, amazing videos from Elizabeth and Elizabeth's friend. I agree. The pictures were from Elizabeth. The video was from a friend over in Playa. But yeah, that was awesome. There's Dennis. Hi, Dennis. Bonnie's with us. Good morning, Bonnie. Still, the captain looks bad. If that is it. Well, not really, Emily. I mean, if he's given a direct order, he has to follow it. I mean, they operate under, military stature. If he's given, if he doesn't follow a direct order from the company, he could be released of duty. Story was so big it made my news. Yeah. Minimum bid was $150 per person for Yacht Club, and Deluxe Street was $755 per person. I bid just over the minimum for interior and got the Deluxe Suite. Yeah, I'm over the moon. Absolutely. The captain is always in charge of the ship. I agree with that. He should have known better than to listen to Carnival Corp. I don't know, Bonnie, I'm kind of have mixed feelings on that one because, I suppose you're right. You and Emily are right on that he still has the safety and welfare of the ship and the passengers are his responsibility. Well, at any rate, it sucks that he was told to go into the storm. All right. So you guys disagree with me. I'm not saying that I disagree with your point at all. I can see the point of following orders, but still, yeah, he's the ultimate responsibility. He should have told him to go to hell. He was getting out of Dodge. And if it meant another day, then it means another day. Sonny said, Cindy, you scored. Dennis is speaking. Oh, I did Serena. Roll the R. Serena. I know. E is pronounced A as in day, like in Venezia. Serena. My bad. I haven't used that before. And when I see those words, I don't yet think of all the lessons you've taught me, Dennis. My bad. You're absolutely correct. And as soon as you said that, I realized that I did it wrong. Nikki says, yay, Cindy. Nikki says to hot air, no spare time. We do have a number to call. No, it's not Elon's direct line. Oh, no spare tire. I see. Okay, now I must have skipped over that when Dennis was fussing at me. So I'm assuming that Nikki said something on other channels about a flat tire, and hot air was responding to that because hi, Nikki, I have a question for you. Steve says, hit that like button. Thank you very much, Steve, as always. Does your car have a spare tire? Yeah, that was just before Dennis giving me hell about Serena. Serena. No spare tire. We do have a number to call. And no, it's not Elon's direct line. I got you. Now I understand. What about the port people? Someone at the port radio into Carnival. Oh, they're in constant communications, Em. My understanding is that the message came directly from Carnival headquarters to the captain. Just shows what contempt Carnival headquarters has for the passengers and crew. It's bad enough they try to fill the passengers' tummies with cheap burgers and tacos. Yeah, but I like the cheap burgers. I'm sorry, I do. I like Guy's burgers. I'm not a particular fan of the tacos on Carnival ships. Elizabeth, what is the name of your channel? Any others on here as well? Elizabeth doesn't have a channel. She's just my buddy. Steve, she has done in the past done some interviews and clips for me on her travels around the world. We've gotten together in Cozumel a bunch of times for lunch. We've become quite close, actually. And like on New Year's Eve last year, I started New Year's Eve with Elizabeth in Sydney, Australia, for their New Year's celebration and fireworks, and basically followed New Year's around the world until it got to me, and I died. I passed out before the time because I was on the air for like 22 hours or something. Yeah, but that started with Elizabeth and down in Cozumel. Bonnie says, I was fortunate with the upgrade ferry, upgrading me to an owner suite on Grand Princess. No bidding needed. Nice. Say Ray. I now have the upgraded Wi-Fi on MSC, so hopefully I can go live. That's great. Serena. Roll the R. Serena. I don't know, Dennis. I may never become an Italian speaker. I seem to remember what Hot Air Tom destroyed his shoulder by changing several flat tires by himself. Yes, I remember something about that too, Bonnie. I don't change tires, As a matter of fact, when my guys tell me that the tires are getting sketchy, I'd say, well, fix that place and replace them. Yeah, I don't take a chance on getting a flat tire anymore. I mean, I used to do that way back in the poor days, where I'd run them until the threads showed. So I'd have blowouts, regularly. I said bye-bye to Carnival in the 1990s. I had enough fun. You're still doing better than 99% of the other cruise vloggers. Thank you, Dennis. I mean, I have to admit, I'm enjoying learning that, and it just aggravates me when I do something like Serena, that I know the rules and still don't relate to it as I say it. We were discussing in the office that my Volt has no spare. I wondered if hers had one. Oh, okay. Now I understand. I thought maybe Nikki and Roger had a flat. And I know that neither one of those are getting out and changing a tire. I know them better. So, all right, everybody, that's going to wrap me up for today. This, of course, is Tuesday. Tomorrow, I will be back. Same time, same place. And, of course, as always, watch for new videos as I'm trying to catch up. I've only got about 90 more to go to get caught up. But anyway, if you haven't done so yet, thumbs up for the channel. That helps me out tremendously. If you haven't subscribed, please take this as my invitation to do so. It doesn't cost you anything and helps the channel out a lot. And the bell notification tells you when I go live or when a new video is posted. Sure would appreciate it, folks. And thanks for being here. Even when the Carnival bartenders knew what these ladies of the evening were up to. Some of the ladies of the evening on ships. So that was caught one time before. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Maybe not on a Carnival ship, but then who knows? Maybe on a Carnival ship, because I still want to do a couple Carnival ships yet, and got one coming up this fall. All right, that's it for today, guys. See everybody tomorrow morning. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.